my dears, today we can discuss a new topic, Indian textiles in European markets. In the previous session we discussed variety of Indian textiles dominated in the international market. And here by the early 18th century, what happened to the Indian textiles in the European markets we have to discuss. You know that the producers of textiles in England, they were worried and they began to protest or they began to disapprove, they were against the import of Indian cotton textiles. Import means one country bought the goods that are produced in another country. So the producers of England, they were against the import of Indian cotton textiles to England. Why? Because these producers, they were worried that when Indian textiles reached to the English market, people may purchase the Indian textiles and the English producers, they may lose the market. That is why the producers of England, they began to protest, they began to disapprove the import of Indian cotton textiles to England. In 1720, in the year 1720, the British government passed a law, enacted a legislation means it passed a law banning the use of printed cotton textiles. So, 1720 British government passed a law to stop the import of cotton textiles to where? To England, especially which variety? The chintz. And very interestingly, this act was known as the Calico Act. British government passed a law and what is the name of that act? Calico Act. That was interesting. At this time, textile industries had just begun to develop in England. So we are going to study why the producers of England, they protest the import of Indian textiles to England. The reason, the textile industries of England had just begun to develop. And that industries were unable to compete with the Indian textiles. At that time, the textile industries of England are unable to compete with the Indian textiles. Then English producers, they wanted a secure and safe market within the country and they want to stop the entry of Indian textiles to England. The first to grow under government protection was the calico printing industry. So these English producers, they want to grow themselves, develop of English industries. That is why the government protection needed. Then the government enacted the Calico Act. Indian designs were now copied, imitated and printed in England on white muslin or plain unbleached Indian cloth. So what happened now? The English producers, they copied the Indian style of printing and that they printed in white muslin or plain unbleached Indian cloth. Here. Then competition with Indian textiles also led to a search of technological innovation in England. So this competition with the Indian textiles, English producers, they also search for technological development, innovation, that means newer ideas for the textile industry. They searched. Then what was the result? In the year 1764, a new device was invented known as spinning jenny. By whom? By John Kay. And this new device known as spinning jenny increased the productivity of the traditional spindles. You know that spindles means a particular device that is used for spinning cotton or wool, etc. So what happened now? Spinning jenny increased the productivity of traditional spindles. And the invention of the steam engine by Richard Arkwright, another one. The invention of steam engine by whom? Richard Arkwright. In 1786, revolutionized cotton textile weaving in England. Revolutionized means transformed or totally changed the cotton textile weaving in England. Cloth could now be woven in immense quantities and cheaply too. So what happened now? Cloth now woven in large quantities and very cheaply too, means at a lower price, very lower price. However, then also Indian textiles continued to dominate world trade till the end of the 18th century. So here what happened? British or English producers, they used newer technology and also new producing methods they used. But what happens? Till the end of the 18th century, Indian textiles were dominated the international market. European trading companies such as these Dutch, French and the English made enormous profits, large, great profits out of this flourishing trade. So what happened till the end of the 18th century? Indian textiles were dominated in the international market, and the companies like Dutch, French and English, they made large profits out of this flourishing trade. How these companies made the profits? These companies purchased cotton and silk textiles in India by importing silver. That means from their countries they bought in silver to India. And for this silver, they purchased cotton and silk textiles from India. And that textiles they took it to the international market, European market, and sold it at a higher price and made enormous profit. But in our second chapter, we already discussed that when the English East India Company acquired political power in Bengal, they no longer had to import precious metal to buy Indian goods. Which technique they used? They collected revenues, taxes from peasants and zamindars in India and used that revenue to buy Indian textiles. So what we discussed today about Indian textiles in European markets. So we have to discuss what are the important questions here. So you know that first paragraph there is a question, what was Calico Act? Why was it passed? Then next another question we can discuss, describe the effect of Indian textiles in European markets. Then next, what problems did the Indian textiles face in the early years of its development? What advantage did East India Company enjoy over French and Dutch trading companies? Which were the main weaving techniques they used by the England? So that we have to discuss. The Indian textiles in European market, how the new technological advancement in England affected the Indian industries. This we have to discuss. The next, which are the two devices invented in England? You know that spinning jenny and also the steam engine. All these things we discussed, and where we concluded that the East India Company acquired political power over Bengal. It stopped to import precious metal to India. Instead of that, it collected revenues from peasants and zamindars in India and used that revenue to purchase goods from India. So dear students, go through this area 2 or 3 times, then underline the important points, and I have to see your textbook image after reading it. Thank you.